News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
And top of the morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And keeping up the discussion surrounding the budget and of course our national pastime, cricket, national religion really. We've got here somebody who will help us answer all those questions. Right here is the Cabinet Minister of many things: sports, telecom, foreign employment, Mr. Harin Fernando. Good morning to you.
Good morning, very good morning.
Have I got it all right? Sports?
Yeah, telecommunications, foreign employment, and sports.
Right,
Yes.
excellent. Now then, this budget, what, in your view, what would you say is the best thing about this budget?
Well, it's quite a few to name. If you really look at this budget, some people find it as an election budget.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel there are lots of depth in this budget. When you really look at a lot of the schemes, see, just as you have seen in the past, most of the budgets, they give you a lot of freebies. But whereas here, there are more loans, there are more into education, there's more into certain housing matters. See, Sri Lanka is a country, now if you take an example, my province, Badulla district, when I first got elected, the drinking water as a percentage was only 22%. And now today with all
Which
this...
year was that then?
2015.
Okay.
Currently we are at 40% mark, but by end of this year, it'll rise up to 60% of the bar. So that is one. And I was shocked myself when the finance minister was saying about the toilets in Sri Lanka. And that's also a major issue if you really look at the livelihoods of many downtrodden people out of Colombo.
I hear what you say, and people probably forget that it was Harin Fernando who started the ball rolling and gave it all up. Gave up being the chief minister?
I gave up being the member of parliament, and I left and went and contested a lower office,
Right.
which was in 2014.
And you're credited with having started the crumble.
Yes, that's what they say.
Right. Now then, but as a politician, you know, in 1977, when Mr. Jaya Wardner led the United National Party to a 5/6 majority parliament, the campaign was, and the promise was, that they will be creating a dharmistic society. 40 years later, one Ranil Wickremesinghe, his campaign also is promising a better society. What's happened in between 40 years? Non-delivery?
Well, I think there are certain challenges when you face, and it's not as easy as you say once you come into power, certainly because of politics.
Yeah.
And politics plays a part within politics.
Yeah.
So it is not as easy. I mean, even if you look at the president right now, many promises that he did was very, very much a challenge for him to execute. So I think the political structure in Sri Lanka is something that you need to really look into, and how we elect our people, how we have our representatives, or the election system that we have existing. All this actually are the issues for Sri Lanka to be in this particular place. I think an executive presidency also might be one of the biggest issues. And wanting to be in power, everybody comes saying, okay, I will be only once there. But it keeps going on and on and on, because there are so many things to execute. Yeah. So I don't think we've still, after 77, had a proper government who was able to 100% say, okay, this government really delivered.
But you know, okay, let's, I just want to get back to this budget. Now, we don't have enough dollars in the country. We would really like to improve the lot of the people who go abroad, migrant workers, instead of the sort of unskilled domestic market.
Absolutely.
To look at professional people going. But, and then we have this promise of 1 million jobs being created, right? Then you look at the budget and you're wondering, where is the encouragement, where is the incentive to the export sector? The dollars are not just going to only arrive into our coffers by raising loans at extortionately high rates, right? So where is this budget that is appealing to these things? You know, exports, you can't be relying on these migrant workers. The president himself is saying that it does damage to the social.
Well, there's two things. First and foremost, I would want to say that the loans are not on very high interest that what we are offering the people.
No, I don't mean that.
Okay.
I mean the dollar bonds that were recently raised between 6.9 and 7.9. Botswana, no, I'm not looking down upon Botswana, but in Botswana,
it's less.
It's 5.3%.
See, our borrowing rates definitely would get higher as we go along because we are paying the biggest amount of debt in Sri Lanka after the independence. Well, and that's also incurred for us, not that we inherited these all. After the 2015, it is now in 2018 and 2019, early part of 2019, was the highest payments, and we have at the moment been paying these loans, not hiding and absconding these loans. Yes, we have
been paying, but you have to look at the way it's being done. It's being done by raising money at a huge rate.
I personally feel there's a transition period and there's a gap where we need to face it up. And certain projects, as you know, I'm just an example, Maktala Airport, nobody still wants to take it. We want to give it off on a long-term lease. See, these are things.
Can I just stop there 1 second? Because you mentioned Maktala. Your government, led by the Prime Minister and Mr. Malik Samrik, the main person on this issue, which I'm about to say, told this country that this Hambantota port was nothing but a vanity project. Right? And we can't afford it, so they gave the
Chinese.
They gave it to the Chinese 99-year virtual sale. Okay, fine. 1.2 billion. Now, the money has come in. It's come into the Sri Lanka Ports Authority because that's the client, and they've sent it to the General Treasury. But the loan hasn't been settled. The money has been used for consumption.
Well, the loan has not been completely finished off, but it is a process. I mean, what they do, Sri Lanka had a lot of other payments also to be made.
You married? Right? Now listen, it's a bit like your mum and your dad. Your dad says to your mum, listen, can you sign that? Because we're mortgaging the property because we're going to build a nice big extension. And then your mum finds that your dad hasn't actually built the extension and she's wondering what's happened to the loan.
Well, sometimes mum should realize there were more loans that was worrying him to be settled off as well, but have a business model to
what is this business model? He's telling the country he's going to settle, but you all have not settled the loan.
No, I think I completely disagree with it because what the Sri Lankan current situation at that moment was not only a matter of the port, the airport, there were so many vitally fund projects, but those were commitments that we have given to the world. So yes, only one thing that we were able to give on a 99-year lease, and also just to correct you, UNP are the first ones who had the project in mind in Hambantota under Anand Kumarasiri, not Anand Kumarasiri, one of the MPs in Hambantota who got the document.
This was in Regain Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Regaining Sri Lanka program, but we also realized what should have been prioritized, and also which when we went along, we knew that the cost of the building that port would be more expensive because of a certain geographical issues, and what they wanted to do was have more extensions in Colombo. But I myself think I personally feel it's 50-50, because if you can turn on certain operations back in Hambantota, that will be the link point to Kandy, Badulla, Monragala, that area, Ampara, Batikalo. So if you really planned it up and not have politics all the time involved in these developments.
Yes. Because I was about to say that the number 2 airport for the country is also in Regaining Sri Lanka, and it wasn't in Mattala, it was
Veeravilla.
Yeah.
It was in Veeravilla he wanted. So they had the similar sort of plans, but for our bad luck, certain things were fast-tracked and have done, and now the people of Sri Lanka have to be paying for it.
Now then, you know, how much of, you know, your Minister of Sports, right? And Sri Lanka cricket's in a big controversy. I don't want to go in there, right? But honestly, when it comes, as a Minister of Sports, what kind of statistics are you relying on? Do you have enough teachers, enough trainers to go out there and take the message out? I'm sure there are loads of Muralidharans and Aravinda De Silvas and Dulip Mendises out there.
See, I mean, I've already got named blame. I'm the Minister of Sport, which we have 64 federations under us, and we're more concentrated on cricket because it's a more popular game right now in Sri Lanka.
Well, it's the national religion.
But not the national sport. So what we have realized is that the entire structure, again, like in the government and the politics, the cricketing structure also needs to change badly. And what happens is Sri Lanka is a country that has 14 A-division top-tier clubs and 10 A-division status or premier status is given to 10 more. Total is 24. You dilute your talent. In other countries, they have about 4 or 5 top-tier clubs which plays, and you really have a very much better tournament. There will be a filtering process, etc. And also, just to go add to a few things, how many grounds do we have maintained by Sri Lanka Cricket? It's only 5. And most of the grounds, other grounds that we play, we've realized it's smaller grounds, and the quality of cricket is really deteriorating, and we need to really fix it. And also, if you also again look at it, except for the down south from maybe Galle up to Colombo, that's Ambalango, the Kaluthura, Panadura, that line, and Colombo, and a little bit of schools in Kandy are the mainstream people who are playing cricket. And if you really see Jaffna, now we're really trying to promote Jaffna, but because under 19 Sri Lankan team, there are 2 boys from Jaffna who got selected. So we need to take the game, the sport, out of Colombo and have, like you correctly mentioned, not people who are you are doing favors for, but proper coaches.
I'm going to read this message. As you know, on Newsline, we encourage you to send us your questions by SMS. 0772 300 305 should be coming up on the screen just now. 0772 300 305. Harin Fernando, I'm going to read this message to you because it's relevant to what you've just said. Hand the selection and the team to those who can win the ball, win the World Cup. Have the guts, it's another word, but I'll change that word. Have the guts to do this without protecting the bond scam rogues.
Well, see,
why can't you have fit and proper people? Independent doesn't mean getting foreigners.
Oh,
there are lots of independent people in this country.
I get the point, but the problem what I inherited was, again, I'm sorry to say this, in December when I took over, it was absolutely in a different kind of a mess. You find a situation where the coach is not happy with the players are not happy with the coach, they're not happy with the administration.
As Minister of Sport, are you fully aware of your remit, that you know these are my rules?
Well, I do.
Are you frightened to exercise?
No, I do, but I don't want to be the person to rattle certain things up as well when you're going for a major tournament that everybody is expecting Sri Lanka to do well, which is the World Cup.
Yeah, and we want to win again.
Yes, and again, if you do too many changes at certain points, Faisal Mustafa's appointment was the selectors, it was the coaches had come sometime before.
With all due respect to young Faisal, I think that was there was a monumental disaster.
No, but I honestly think that he was not advised properly. But what we have done, all these people have at certain point in life have done something for Sri Lanka cricket as well. But whether they have different agendas is a question to be answered.
I think we talk about agendas. You need to have an objective, because you've got a pretty good name so far, and you're going to be a future leader.
See, what we did was, when I figured out, I went to the Australia game as I was appointed. I knew the Sri Lankan cricket was not doing well because we had a disastrous tour in New Zealand. In Australia, they were getting hammered badly. So I went to the Canberra test and I met the boys and I figured certain things out. And the moment I came back, I spoke to the existing captain. I said, "You're not in form, come back. Get your confidence back." And we did a little bit of changes and it completely worked for us. And the entire world community was shocked when Sri Lanka won the 2 test matches in South Africa.
Yeah.
But again, when it comes to the one days, there again the combination, and also people need to realize last year we've again gone to South Africa. We won all 5 days, lost all 3 test matches under one of the more a fluent captain at that point. But you can't blame these things. But what we really need to realize was we figured the issue, and that's the biggest part.
What's the issue?
I don't think I should be saying it right now, but we figured the issue, and last morning I had a long discussion with the selectors, the Sri Lankan Cricket Board officials, and they're very, now with me I see a very difference. They're cooperating. The two parties came from different sides. The selectors were selected by a different minister, and now the new board has been elected. Coach has been selected by another party. So they all had agendas of knowing what they should do. They had different mindsets. So my job is to getting all of them to work together without me putting another issue up there by appointing my own people. So I didn't do it. I always believe in working with the people I've got. And
but
even with the players.
administration-wise, Harin Fernando, it's the same bunch of people. You just
well, that's
change the
unfortunate
title.
because of the constitution of the cricket. So once they got appointed, I was very happy to say I was expecting some fireworks with them and me, because see, Sri Lanka is the only country that signs sports teams when they tour. A sports minister, the only country that it's becoming politicized because of these federations or the unions or the.
Is it a good thing that the minister has to sign off?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. I'd probably be the first one to say I should not be doing it, because there is a political element to it. And I myself, because I love my sport, I don't. If I have an issue, I would ask him why. Why? Because I do read the papers every day.
Asking you the question again. Are you fully aware of the real power that you have and you wield as a minister?
I do have too much of powers, to be honest, on cancelling anybody's appointment on going on a tour. You have so many federations, you can take them off and appoint it.
Why don't you start by changing the sports law? And
so right now, we are the first country in Asia, we are changing the sports law into corruption as well, where you can go into 5 years jail, and maximum of a 5 million penalty. So as I walked in, that's what I've done. Yesterday we had a meeting with the Attorney General. It's going to be tabled in Parliament. The delay is because the budget is going on, so you can't table any other bills. But we are beginning an amendment, and also there are so many mushroom clubs that has been appointed by these federations. This is why, to answer your questions, why the same bunch of people keep coming in. Because there are clubs that are just namesake clubs.
That's what I mean. Why don't you change the constitution?
So yes, so to change the constitution, it wasn't, everybody tried it. Mahela, Sangakara.
But there's no point changing it without changing the sports law, because the sports law supersedes all that.
Exactly. So that's why we're doing it simultaneously. We've got this document, but I'm happy to say the new elected body was very courteous with me, and they spoke to me very well, and they said, okay, let's look into it. Let's bring Mahela Sangha Morali also. They said at certain points last few years, it broke down in between the, the discussions.
But they don't want to come in if they're just going to be used as a tool. They don't want to waste their time.
Well, I feel they have the best interests of cricket, and somebody adamant and arrogant also needs to drive it. So I think I have it in me.
You need to really exercise your powers.
Yes.
The feeling amongst the rest of the community is that Minister Harin Fernando isn't doing enough. He needs to have lots of steel.
Well, I think people are quite okay, but the thing is, within the next month, see, our preparation starts mid of April. They come back only on the 26th of March, the team, and then they start moving to England on the 5th of May. So the New Year period, there's a short period, and you do a lot of changes. Even let me say, if I do a lot of changes, it's actually going to turn back at the cricket team. It will have an effect. So I'm being very careful. I'm caught in between. It's a catch-22 situation, but I think I'm confident. So far we've identified some young boys. You really see that one day said there's a boy called Avishka Fernando, Oshada Fernando, Vishwa. Okay, unfortunately they're all Fernandos, nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with you.
None of these Fernandos are related to me in there.
Okay.
So, and they're all from Morto boys, and also from St. Sebastian. So see, we are identifying new talent, and so that Ambul Denia and even Kamindo Mendy. So we've actually, The good thing out of it is that we've identified some young, very, very, very prosperous players and prospectors, and I think we need to slowly but surely get our act together. I think we'll
why don't you, instead of, you know, because you cancel, get into litigation, and because that's a favorite player, why don't you just permit another team to take charge of the game? And then, because, you know, some of these names that, sorry, some of the names you're mentioning are, these people have really stayed too long now. And they've done that to perpetuate their own glory. But at the damage is being done to our cricket. And Minister, you know what we don't want to see, okay, we have an objective here. The objective is to ensure that Harin Fernando doesn't spoil his name and can carry forward to show that he's a leader. We don't want to see you getting engulfed in all sorts of other things. And therefore, we want Harin Fernando to be able to say at the end of this term of Parliament, to say, I don't know about the others, but this is what I've done. Because others, Harin Fernando, with all due respect, they've done absolutely jack. For 4 years, I don't want to go in. What about you?
See, sports is not just cricket again, but we're just moving on to one of the center stages of cricket, or one of the biggest events, which is the World Cup. But what I'm quite confident in myself is that I just wanted to make sure that we get the right combination for the World Cup. The changes will happen after the World Cup. I do not want to do it. And also there are certain people, like you said correctly, who doesn't want to understand and change, will be replaced with the younger generation, because that's future. And we've spoken to a few of them, and that's the other thing. For me, most of these boys, who even people feel as controversial people, have been dealing, talking, negotiating with me very, very well. As in, I am trying to help those boys also come out of the rut. And being a sportsman, I always feel a bit of miscommunication is what really causes the root cause of everything.
But we mustn't, you know, wallow in the past.
Absolutely.
Right. You recognize the problem, you need to take it and go forward. How much of...
that's what exactly happened in the test series. That's what I know, and the people saw it. There's a huge difference. The energy, the dressing. If you're happy in a dressing room, you play very happy as a team. If you're not happy in a dressing room, it's very difficult to get 100% out of your body. So even when you're a weak side, but you have that passion and you have that unity to play well, absolutely you'll win or you'll do better. So what I saw in my own eyes was that they weren't there, and now again I feel there are a little bit of issues. I need to make sure that these boys and their commander are all together with one voice, and that's where the change will be.
Wonderful. Just to keep in the same flow, how passionate are you and committed are you to be in the winning team, politically speaking?
Well, that's, I mean, if you're loving your game, you need to make sure you keep winning.
Well, you love your game, politics. You love the service to the people.
I have my plans on that, how I keep winning, as a party, not me. And I always keep saying that the changes that we want will not be suggested too early, because in the game of politics, it's always better to come from behind and get on top. So
Gee, sorry. Well,
that's politics, a dirty game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a dirty game. But, you know, what chances? Okay, I won't take that one. No, I can't take that one. The thing is, Harin Fernando, how much, you were the Minister of, you are still in telecom, right?
Yeah.
And so you had, you know all about technology and so on. But how do you go about collecting the data? How do you know, I mean, with cricket, how do you know where this cricketer, this boy or this girl is outstanding in this sport, that sport, whatever? How good is our collection? How strong is the,
well, we've
never
had this data with Sri Lanka. Yeah. And right now we've actually started, we've had a sports council with eminent sports people we were appointed. It was just a defunct name as a sports council, but right now we've got 14 top people in the country, nothing political. I mean, certain people are very openly.
Just where are you getting all the data? Do you know that there might be boy X in Hambantota?
See, I'm very happy what even Sirisa does for me sometimes. Recently, they've picked up a boy who was a very good fast bowler from Jaffna. He wanted us to have a look at this boy. We're looking at this boy and we're trying to get them out. Certain other people also doing certain academies, fast bowler competitions, etc. These are going to benefit us, but yes, there should be a different proper system where you synchronize. And see, we play 1,000 school games a year, 1,000 school cricket games a year, and that's too much of cricket sometimes, so you do not find the correct talent. So we've right now getting some statistics, and we have a brain center in Sri Lanka cricket.
Do you think you need to up your ante soon? Because otherwise, by the time they identify everything, you'll be out of business. You'll be in some other ministry.
See, that's what my target is. I want to have a 6 months time period. I want to execute most within the 6 months. It's only 3 months or 2.5 months that has passed by so far. But I think we've got.
Yes, but the end is nigh. The election's soon.
Yeah, I would assume by around maybe early October, we might have some sort of election in Sri Lanka, or progressing for some sort of election for sure.
That's good.
So I want to make sure that by June, I have my game all there, so that anybody who comes over just can take it over and just handle it. Policy will be done. Sports law will be amended. Sports law, if a club has not performed or on a national level, they cannot be voting, and we are going to gazette it as well very soon, because this is where the families keep on controlling sport, which is very unfortunate for the sportsmen. So I would make sure that would be my priority, and the corruption part of it would be eliminated as well. So,
bank accounts in Mexico, cricket in Mexico. Sorry, I don't see I just can't see it.
As the Auditor General is doing a report right now, and I think a lot of people will be shocked about the
millions and millions of dollars have come in there, and bank account in Mexico. For heaven's sake, I don't know. I hope you're going to identify all these things, because before
I think the Attorney General is about to give off his report. I think that'll have some controversial things. So we'll have to look at
very quickly, as we come to the end of the program, 7 of your colleagues in Parliament have made their asset declarations public. Any plans to do the same?
Well, we just want to say one thing. I've given my asset declaration. If you don't give it, you end up in bribery corruption.
Yes.
But certain things in life sometimes should not be always a publicity stunt. And this is one thing that I'm very
but don't you think for accountability?
Well, I honestly feel if somebody requests, because there's rights to information, if you want to see my asset declaration.
But I can do that, Harin, at the moment, but I can't take it and discuss it in the editorial meeting.
If there is something wrong, if there's something tricky, you could always do it. And what I'm saying is, certain things that's happening in Parliament is really, really affecting the reputation of a politician. I mean, one member can go and take a blood report, the other person can show an asset declaration, and the next, what would be the next? It will be shocking. Our personal life will be exposed as well. They'll want to come behind. I mean, that's not what you want. A politician has to do his job when he's given a term. If you're in opposition, fight for what's right. And if you're in government, do what you're given the job to do. Not do stunts behind media and just show off and say, I've done this, I'm better.
Do you think they're stunts?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love my friend Iran. With all due respect to others, sometimes somebody would have just told them to do it. And what I'm trying to get
But
here,
what about the other side of the coin? People think that you have something to hide.
What I'm going to get is, see, people know, and they keep voting the wrong person over and over again. You don't need to give an asset declaration to stop it. You find it. You see how this man started and where is he right now. This stunt, I would say, probably because certain organizations keep promoting these things, but the bigger damage, you don't realize, a politician's reputation or good people in future would not want to step into politics. This is what we're driving into, because we've made the 225 the biggest jokers in the country. And who is responsible? Us. It is the 225 who's doing the same thing.
Harin Fernando, thank you very much for being on Newsline. Wonderful talking to you, and wish you all the very best. I hope you continue to go from strength to strength. And that's the way it was on Newsline this morning. Take care, have a great day ahead, and God bless. Thank you.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.